Hi everyone. So in the last session we discussed about the structure of DNA. So let us deal some of the concepts which are regarding these types of DNA. Means we get the some of the DNAs based on the process of extraction, isolation and purification. So during these process of isolation, extraction and the purification, we will get different kinds of DNAs that may be right-handed twisted or maybe the left-handedly twisted. Means some of the DNAs may be clockwise twisted or anti-clockwise twisted. So ಈ ದಿನ ನಾವು ನೋಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ಟೈಪ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಡಿ ಎನ್ ಎ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ಈ ಟೈಪ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಡಿ ಎನ್ ಎ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಹೇಗೆ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದರೆ, ಈ ಡಿ ಎನ್ ಎಗಳನ್ನ ನಾವು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ, ಐಸೋಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಅಥವಾ ಸಪ್ರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಪ್ಯೂರಿಫೈ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಕೆಲವೊಂದಿಷ್ಟು ಡಿ ಎನ್ ಎಗಳು ಕ್ಲಾಕ್ ವೈಸ್ ಟ್ವಿಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿರ್ತವೆ, ಕೆಲವೊಂದಿಷ್ಟು ಡಿ ಎನ್ ಎಗಳು ಆಂಟಿ ಕ್ಲಾಕ್ ವೈಸ್ ಟ್ವಿಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿರ್ತವೆ. ಅಂದರೆ ಕ್ಲಾಕ್ ವೈಸ್ ಟ್ವಿಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಅಂದರೆ ರೈಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡೆಡ್ ಕಾಯಿಲಿಂಗ್ ಆಗಿರ್ತವೆ, ಲೆಫ್ಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡೆಡ್ ಕಾಯಿಲಿಂಗ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಆಂಟಿ ಕ್ಲಾಕ್ ವೈಸ್ ಟ್ವಿಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಆಗಿರ್ತವೆ. ಸೊ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡೋದಾದರೆ ರೈಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡೆಡ್ ಅಥವಾ ಕ್ಲಾಕ್ವೈಸ್ ಟ್ವಿಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, ಸೊ ಲೆಟ್ಸ್ ಡೀಲ್ ದ ಟೈಪ್ಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ದ ರೈಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡೆಡ್ DNA. Right handed DNA or maybe the clockwise twisted DNAs are DNA A, BDNA, cDNA and ddNA. So aDNA, BDNA, cDNA, ddNA are the four types of DNAs which are right handedly coiled, or the clockwise coiling will be seen. Whereas the zDNA is one of the DNA which is left-handedly coiled. So that is anti-clockwise. Anti-clockwise twisting will be seen in the zDNA and the clockwise twisting can be seen in the A, B, C, D. These four types of DNAs. So let us see their properties, whether maybe their helix length, the base pair, total number of the base pair and the total distance. Okay, so the aDNA which is having the total helix length means this one. Okay, the total helix length is about 28 angstrom. The major and the minor total grooves is forming one helix length that is having 11 base pairs. So yesterday only we discussed. So this is the major groove and the minor groove. Togetherly they are forming the one helix length that is having the two successive base pairs are having the 3.4 angstrom of the base pair length or a distance, and totally one helix length constitutes the 10 base pairs. The whole length will be the 34 angstrom. The same way here we are discussing about the aDNA which is having the 28 angstrom, means the total 11 base pairs they are having. In between the total distance from the first to 11th we are having the 28 angstrom of their helix length. So whatever the distance, then in between those two successive base pairs, means for example this one and this one, the successive base pair distance is 2.56 angstrom. So the diameter between this means the two pass pairs, that is 23 angstrom in the aDNA. So bDNA, this is one of the special DNA and usually most occurring DNA and is the most active in the metabolic processes. This DNA was what the Watson and Crick was proposed. So this is the DNA which is proposed by the helix model of this DNA was proposed by the Watson and Crick. That DNA is nothing but the bDNA. The bDNA is having the helix length of 34 angstrom, what we discussed in the last video. The total major and minor group together forming helix length called 34 angstrom, and as we said it is having the 10 base pairs. The total number of base pairs is 10 and the distance between the two successive base pairs is 3.4 angstrom, and then the total, the diameter is 20 angstrom. So this is the very special type of DNA which occurs metabolically very active. This was the DNA model given by the Watson and Crick. And then the cDNA which is having the helix length of 31 angstrom and having the base pair of total 9.3 base pairs, and then it is having the distance between two consecutive base pairs as 3.32 angstrom, and total the diameter between these two strands is the 19 angstrom. And then The ddNA is having the total helix length of 24.24 angstrom and having the 8 pair of base pairs of the nitrogen base pairs, and then the distance between two consecutive base pairs as the 3.03, and then the diameter between those two complementary strands is 19 angstrom. So the aDNA, bDNA, cDNA, ddNA are of the right-handed or the clockwise twisted DNAs, and bDNA is usually most occurring and the very important type of DNAs we can see in organisms. So coming to left-handed DNA, that is the zDNA. So here the helix length is 45.6 angstrom, having the 6 dimers as the number of base pairs, means total 12, and then the distance between consecutive base pairs is 3.75 angstrom, and the diameter between the complementary base pairs is, or the complementary strands is 18.4 angstrom. So these are based on their twisting. Coming to the special properties, we can come across the palindromic sequences, and then palindromic DNA, nothing but the palindromic sequence, and then we can come across satellite DNA and repetitive DNA based on their special mechanisms they are involved in. So the palindromic DNA, see, in the palindromic sequences we can see the DNA sequence which is running in 3' to 5', which is again the complementary to another sequences. See, CCG, GTA, CCG, cytosine, guanine, adenine, thymine are arranged in a different conditions. So if the part of DNA in which base sequences of one strand is opposite to that another strand, when read from the say opposite direction we can get the same. See, if we are reading in this direction CCG, if we are reading the another strand in the opposite direction, we will also get the same thing. So the way which gives the same reading from the both the direction means CCG, GTA, CCGG is gives the CCGG, TA, CCGG, means the same as we seen in the above strand. We can get the same, means the palindromic DNA is a part of DNA in which base sequence of the one strand is opposite to that of the other strand. The base sequence of one strand is opposite to that of other strand when read from the opposite direction. So this palindromic sequence was given by Wilson and Thomas. So this is about the palindromic sequence. For example, in a crude example, it is not related to genetic, but Malayalam, we can read this in both the direction. M can be written in this direction, right? So if you written in opposite direction, the last letter will come first, then second, likewise. If we read this word in both the direction, we can get the same meaning. The same way, the base sequences are written in a opposite direction, that is complementary to the same, and if you get the same reading from opposite direction, that sequences are palindromic sequences. So these are very important, where we can see in the metabolism processes during the transcription and during the translations also, which is very important site, which becomes an binding site for the different processes. So we will discuss this palindromic DNA in detail in the biotechnological aspects in the coming videos. So the sequence of nucleotide, same from the both end. If we can see simply, it is a sequence of nucleotide that is same from both the end. ಸೊ ಇದು ಪ್ಯಾಲಿಂಡ್ರೋಮಿಕ್ ಸೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಯಾವುದೇ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನಲ್ಲಿ ಓದಿದ್ರು ಎರಡರಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಒಂದೇ ಥರ ಮೀನಿಂಗನ್ನು ಕೊಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ರೀಡಿಂಗನ್ನು ಕೊಡುತ್ತೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಇದನ್ನು ಪ್ಯಾಲಿಂಡ್ರೋಮಿಕ್ ಡಿ ಎನ್ ಎ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಇನ್ನು ರಿಪಿಟೇಟಿವ್ ಡಿ ಎನ್ ಎ ಮತ್ತು ಸ್ಯಾಟಲೈಟ್ ಡಿ ಎನ್ ಎ ಅಂತ ನೋಡೋದಾದರೆ, ದ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಜೀನೋಮ್ ವಿಚ್ repetitive sequence are arranged end to end as long tandem arrows is called DNA, called the satellite DNA. ಸೊ ಯಾವ ಡಿ ಎನ್ ಎ ರಿಪಿಟೇಟಿವ್ ಸೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸನ್ನು ಎಂಡ್ ಟು ಎಂಡ್ ಅರೇಂಜ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಆ ಒಂದು ಡಿ ಎನ್ ಎ ನಾವು ಸ್ಯಾಟಲೈಟ್ ಡಿ ಎನ್ ಎ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಈ ಸ್ಯಾಟಲೈಟ್ ಡಿ ಎನ್ ಎ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಕೂಡ ವಿ ವಿಲ್ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಬಯೋಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿ ಆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದೆನ್ ರಿಪಿಟೇಟಿವ್ ಡಿ ಎನ್ ಎ ಅಂತ ಇದೆ. ರಿಪಿಟೇಟಿವ್ ಡಿ ಎನ್ ಎ, ಆಸ್ ದ ನೇಮ್ ಇಟ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಇಸ್ ಸೇಯಿಂಗ್ ದಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ repeatedly multiple copies of DNA is present. So the multiple copies of DNA having same or almost the same base pair sequence are constituting an repetitive DNA. ಪದೇ ಪದೇ ಒಂದೇ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಸೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸನ್ನು ಅದು ಹೊಂದಿದ್ರೆ, ಆ ಬೇಸ್ ಪೇರ್ ಸೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಿದ್ರೆ ಆಲ್ಮೋಸ್ಟ್, ಅದನ್ನು ನಾವು ರಿಪಿಟೇಟಿವ್ ಸೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಈ ಥರ ಡಿ ಎನ್ ಎ ಯೂಶ್ವಲಿ ಹೈಯರ್ ಆರ್ಗನಿಸಮ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಫೈಂಡ್ 20 to 90%. If we come across in human, we can come across 30% of DNA is repetitive. So this is about the types of DNAs based on their process of isolation, extraction and metabolism processes and purification processes. So coming to this, the packaging of DNA, because we can see the very microorganisms which are having millimeter type of the DNA which is inside them. So how that amount of DNA is present means that is all because of the compact arrangement or the neat packaging which leads to the presence of the longest DNAs inside their nucleuses or inside their cells. So see how this DNA or a genetic material is packaged inside the cells. So generally the average distance between two adjacent base pairs is 3.4 angstrom or 0.34 nanometer. So we can write it in the form of 0.3 into 10 to the power of 9. So this is the distance, the average distance between two adjacent base pairs in a DNA. We are already discussed that the length of human haploid cell is 3.3 into 10 to the power of minus 6. But here the length of human diploid cell is 6.6 into 10 to the power of minus 9, 10 to the power of 9 base pairs into the consecutive base pair distance is, as we discussed, 0.3 into 10 to the power of minus 9. So here we will get the total distance is 2.2 meters. See, in a nucleus, if the presence of this 2.2 meter sized or lengthed DNA, then how it is arranged? So we are very well known about the size of the cells, but the length of the DNA is far greater than the dimension of a typical nucleus. We will come across, right? So ನೋಡಿ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗಿದೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಅವರೇಜ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಎಷ್ಟಿತ್ತು ಒಂದು ಬೇಸ್ ಪೇರಿಗೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಬೇಸ್ ಪೇರಿಗೆ ಅಂದರೆ ನಾವು 3.4 ಆನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಮ್ ಅಥವಾ 0.3 ನ್ಯಾನೋಮೀಟರ್ ಅಂತ ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ವಿ. ಹಾಗಾದರೆ ಈ ಥರ ಟೋಟಲ್ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಬೇಸ್ ಪೇರ್ಸ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಹ್ಯೂಮನ್ ಡಿಪ್ಲಾಯ್ಡ್ ಸೆಲ್ಲಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂತ ನೋಡೋದಾದರೆ 6.6 into 10 to the power of 9 ಬೇಸ್ ಪೇರ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ದಾವೆ. ಇವುಗಳಿಗೆ ಟೋಟಲ್ ಕಾನ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಟಿವ್ ಬೇಸ್ ಪೇರ್ನ ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಅಂತ ಮಲ್ಟಿಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ we will get the total length. So this is the total number of base pairs. This is the distance between two consecutive or adjacent base pairs. So then we will get the 2.2 meter of the DNA size or a length. But ಈ DNA ಲೆಂತು ಅಪ್ರಾಕ್ಸಿಮೇಟ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಟಿಪಿಕಲ್ ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯಸ್ಸಿನ ಲೆಂತ್ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ಅದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದೆ. ಯಾಕೆಂದರೆ ಅಪ್ರಾಕ್ಸಿಮೇಟ್ಲಿ ಟಿಪಿಕಲ್ ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯಸ್ಸಿನ ಲೆಂತ್ 10 to the power of minus 6 ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಬಟ್ ಅದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಈ ಡಿ ಎನ್ ಎ ಸೈಜ್ ಇದೆ. ಹಾಗಾದರೆ ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯಸ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂಥ ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಮೆಟೀರಿಯಲು ಡಿ ಎನ್ ಎ, ಆದರೆ ಇದ್ರ ಸೈಜ್ ಅಷ್ಟು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದೆ. ಅಂದರೆ ಹೇಗೆ ಅರೇಂಜ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು? ಈ ಲಾಂಗ್ ಸೈಜ್ಡ್ ಡಿ ಎನ್ ಎ ಅಕೊಮೊಡೇಟ್ ಇನ್ ಎ ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಏರಿಯಾ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಥ್ರೂ ದ ಪ್ಯಾಕಿಂಗ್, ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಕಾಂಪ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಅರೇಂಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್. ಸೊ ಲೆಟ್ಸ್ ಸಿ ಹೌ ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಟೇಕನ್ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್. ಇದು ಹೈಯರ್ ಆರ್ಗನಿಸಮ್ ಆಯಿತು. ಹಾಗಾದರೆ ಈವನ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಲೋಯರ್ ಆರ್ಗನಿಸಮ್, ದ ಈ ಕೋಲೈ, ಇಸ್ಟರಿಷಿಯಾ ಕೋಲೈ is also having 4.6 into 10 to the power of 6 as the base pair. Hence we can see the total length is 1.36 millimeter. So microorganism, this is the E. coli is one of the microorganism, but its total length of DNA is 1.36 millimeter. How? Means, as I just said, it is all because of the long size DNA is accommodated in a small area only because of this compact arrangement or a compaction, nothing but the close packing. So let's see how this packing has been taken place in an genetic materials. So DNA is one of the acidic material due to the presence of the more number of the or large number of the phosphate groups, and this compaction occurs by folding the acid attachment of DNA with the basic proteins. The basic proteins called especially polyamine in the prokaryote and histone in the eukaryote. So as we know, the DNA is an negatively charged particle. That's why it needs the positively charged contents. The positively charged proteins means the basic proteins. As we know, the DNA is an acidic molecule because of the presence of more number of large phosphates. So this acidic has to be binded with the basic proteins like the polyamine in the prokaryote and histone in the eukaryote. So DNA ಅನ್ನೋದು ಅಸಿಡಿಕ್ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ, ಯಾಕೆಂದರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಲಾರ್ಜ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಫಾಸ್ಫೇಟ್ಸ್ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ, ಫಾಸ್ಫೇಟ್ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಅದು ಅಸಿಡಿಕ್ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟಿನ ತೋರಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಇದ್ರ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಇದು ಬೈಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು ಅಥವಾ ಫೋಲ್ಡ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು, ಕಾಂಪ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಅರೇಂಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ ಈ ಫೋಲ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಆಸಿಡ್ ಏನಿದೆ, ಡಿಯಾಕ್ಸಿ ರೈಬೋ ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಆಸಿಡ್ಡು, ಇದು ಬೇಸಿಕ್ ಪ್ರೋಟೀನ್ಸ್ಗಳ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಅಟ್ಯಾಚ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು, ಆಸಿಡ್ ಬೇಸ್ ಜೊತೆ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಅವಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಇದು ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಪ್ಯಾಕ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅನ್ನೋದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಹಾಗಾದರೆ ಯಾವ್ಯಾವ ಪ್ರೋಟೀನ್ಸು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇಸಿಕ್ ಪ್ರೋಟೀನ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ ಅನ್ನೋದಾದರೆ, polyamine is the protein which is present in the prokaryote P, prokaryote polyamine, and eukaryote histone is an eukaryotic protein we can see in an folding acid attachment. So let's detail about some of the concepts regarding the packaging of prokaryotic DNA. So prokaryotic DNA doesn't have the definite nucleus. We know that pro means the early, nucleus means the karyote, right? The pro refers to early, karyon refers to the nucleus. So early type of nucleus is not very conspicuous, it is not having the defined nucleus, but the DNA is not so scattered. Here the negatively charged DNA is found in the cytoplasma in a supercoiled state. ಸೊ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ಲಿ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ಡ್ ಡಿ ಎನ್ ಎ ಏನಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಸೈಟೋಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಮ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಹೇಗೆ ಬೇಕಾಗಿ ಸ್ಕ್ಯಾಟರ್ಡ್ ಆಗಿರಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ಸೂಪರ್ ಕಾಯಿಲಿಂಗ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಕಾಯಿಲಿಂಗ್ ಆಗೋದೇ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, ದಟ್ ಸೂಪರ್ ಕಾಯಿಲ್ಡ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಸರಿಯಾದ ರೀತಿ ದುಂಡಿಯನ್ನು ಈಗ ದಾರವನ್ನು ಸುತ್ತಿಟ್ರೆ ಹೇಗಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಆ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ಡಿ ಎನ್ ಎ ಇಸ್ ಫೌಂಡ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಸೈಟೋಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಮಾ ಇನ್ ಅ ಸೂಪರ್ ಕಾಯಿಲ್ಡ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್. ಸೊ ದೀಸ್ ಕಾಯಿಲ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಮೇಂಟೈನ್ಡ್ ಬೈ, ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ಆ ಕಾಯಿಲ್ ಹಾಗೇ ಇರುತ್ತಾ, ಅದನ್ನು ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಮೇಂಟೈನ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ ಸೆಲ್ಲು ಅಂತ ನೋಡೋದಾದರೆ, ದೀಸ್ ಕಾಯಿಲ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಮೇಂಟೈನ್ ಬೈ ದ ನಾನ್ ಹಿಸ್ಟೋನ್ ಪ್ರೋಟೀನ್ಸ್. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಅ ಹಿಸ್ಟೋನ್ ಪ್ರೋಟೀನ್, ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅ ನಾನ್ ಹಿಸ್ಟೋನ್ ಪ್ರೋಟೀನ್, NHC, ನಾನ್ ಹಿಸ್ಟೋನ್ ಬೇಸಿಕ್ protein, NHB, that is a non-histone basic protein called polyamine, is present in the prokaryote to bind with the negatively charged acidic DNA in the cytoplasm to be maintained in the state of supercoiled state. So that's how the DNA is arranged compactly, and that compactly arranged structure of DNA in the prokaryote is called nucleoid, or it is also called as genopore. So very important for a purpose of competitives. So nucleoid or a genopore are both the compact structure of DNA names. So compact structure of DNA which is present in the prokaryote is called the nucleoid or the genopore. So coming to the very important factors, what we are going to deal is the arrangement of DNA, the packaging of DNA in the eukaryote. So we can see a very beautiful arrangement of this packaging of this DNA, especially in the eukaryotes we are going to deal. So here the packaging in eukaryotes is carried out with the help of the very important protein, as we discussed, the histone. The histone is a very important type of protein which is the derivative of lysine and arginine. So lysine and arginine. This is already asked in competitive exams various times. So the lysine and arginine are rich basic protein called the histone. So histone is a derivative of lysine and arginine type of amino acids. So the packaging in DNA is carried out by with the help of lysine and arginine rich basic protein called histone. These histone proteins are of 5 types. One is H1, H2A, H2B, H3 and H4. Out of these 5, the 4 of them occurs out of these 5, H1, H2A, H2B, H3, H4 histone proteins, 4 of them occurs in pair. So 4 into 2 means the pair, means total 8, that is called octamer. Octa refers to 8, mer refers to the units. So in the chemistry we will come across the polymers, right? The poly means many, mer means unit. Here octa refers to the 8, mer refers to the unit. So 2 copies of each basic proteins, especially H2A, H2B, H3 and H4 are arranged. So here H1 acts as the attaching protein between the linker DNAs. So linker DNA ಮಧ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಇದು ಅಟ್ಯಾಚ್ ಆಗಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. So the DNA packaging in eukaryotes is carried out by the help of the lysine and arginine rich basic protein called the histone. This histone is of 4 types: H1, H2A, H2B, H3, H4. Out of these 5, 4 occurs in the pairs to produce the octamer. That octamer is having the 2 copies of each H2A, H2B, H3 and H4. That is called the new body or the core of nucleosome. Okay, their positively charged ends are directed towards the outward and the negatively charged DNA is wrapped around them. So about 200 base pairs of DNA is wrapped over the new body to complete 1/3/4 turns. See, this is the DNA. As we discussed, the DNA is negatively charged particle which is compactly arranged in a nucleus by the help of the arginine and lysine rich derivative called the basic protein histone. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಂಪ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಅರೇಂಜ್ ಆಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಯೂನಿಟನ್ನು ಈ ಡಿ ಎನ್ ಎ ನೋಡಿ ಬರ್ತಾ ಕಾಂಪ್ಯಾಕ್ಟಾಗಿ ಅರೇಂಜ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಈ ಕಾಂಪ್ಯಾಕ್ಟಾಗಿ ಅರೇಂಜ್ ಆಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಡಿ ಎನ್ ಎಗೆ ನಾವು ದ ಕಾಂಪ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ಗೆ ಏನಂತ ಕರಿತಿದ್ದೀವಿ ಅಂದರೆ ದ ಯೂನಿಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಕಾಂಪ್ಯಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಈಸ್ ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯೋಸೋಮ್. ದ ಯೂನಿಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಕಾಂಪ್ಯಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಈಸ್ ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯೋಸೋಮ್. This nucleosome is having the different proteins as we said, that is H1 and then S2A, S2B, S3, H4 are occur in pairs except H1. So here the 4 the basic proteins occur in a pairs to produce the octamer, means the 2 copies as I said S2A, S2B and S3, H4 are occurring in a pairs. That leads to the formation called the new body. The nucleosome is also called as new body. The new body has been formed. So here the new body is the positively charged ends are projected outwards. The positively charged ends are projected outwards. We can see the positively charged ends are projected outwards. Why? ಯಾಕೆ ಈ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ಲಿ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ಡ್ ಎಂಡ್ಸ್ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಹಿಂಗೆ ಚಾಚ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾವೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ಲಿ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ಡ್ ಎಂಡ್ಸ್ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಚಾಚ್ಕೊಂಡಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ಲಿ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ಡ್ ಡಿ ಎನ್ ಎ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಅಟ್ಯಾಚ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ದ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ಲಿ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ಡ್ ಎಂಡ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಪ್ರೊಜೆಕ್ಟೆಡ್ ದೆಮ್ ಆರ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟೆಡ್ ಟುವರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಔಟ್ಸೈಡ್ because to attract the negatively charged DNA strands. So they attract the negatively charged DNA and then about 200 base pairs of DNA is wrapped over the new body or the nucleosome to complete about ಇಂಟು 3/4 ಅಂದರೆ ಟೋಟಲ್ 1/4 ಭಾಗ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ 1 and 3/4 turns as the DNA is wrapped over the new body. ಸೊ ಇದು ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಎರಡು ಕಾಯಿಲಿಂಗ್ ಅನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ 1 and 3/4 ಟರ್ನ್ ಆಫ್ DNA ಈಸ್ ರ್ಯಾಪ್ಡ್. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟಿರುತ್ತೆ ಟೋಟಲ್ ಬೇಸ್ ಪೇರ್ಸ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಅರೌಂಡ್ 200 ಬೇಸ್ ಪೇರ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ 1 ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯೋಸೋಮ್. ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಡ್ the 1/3/4 of the coiling turn. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗಿದೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಟೋಟಲ್ DNA ಒಂದು ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯೋಸೋಮಿಗೆ 1/3/4 ಕಾಯಿಲಿಂಗ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಯಿಲಿಂಗ್ ಆಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ DNA ಎಷ್ಟು ಬೇಸ್ ಪೇರ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಒಂದು ನ್ಯೂ ಬಾಡಿಯಲ್ಲಿ 200 ಬೇಸ್ ಪೇರ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ದಾವೆ. ಹಾಗಾದರೆ ಟೋಟಲ್ ನಮಗೆ ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ ಅಂದರೆ ದಿಸ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ದ ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯೋಸೋಮ್ ಸೈಜ್ ಈಸ್ 110 into 60 angstrom. That can be written as 11 into 6 nanometer. That is nothing but 66 nanometer. So this is the length of the nucleosome size. So then the DNA present between the nucleosome, adjacent nucleosome, is called linker DNA. ಈ DNA ಅಂದರೆ ಎರಡು ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯೋಸೋಮಿನ ಮಧ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಜಾಯ್ನಿಂಗಿಗೆ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಆ ಒಂದು DNA ನಾವು ಲಿಂಕರ್ DNA ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅಟ್ಯಾಚ್ಡ್ ವಿತ್ ದ, ನೋಡಿ ಇಲ್ಲೂ H1 ನೋಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಇಲ್ಲೂ H1 ಪ್ರೋಟೀನನ್ನು ನೋಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅಟ್ಯಾಚ್ಡ್ ಟು H1 ಹಿಸ್ಟೋನ್ ಪ್ರೋಟೀನ್. ಬಟ್ ಈ H1 ಹಿಸ್ಟೋನ್ ಪ್ರೋಟೀನು ಅಥವಾ ಈ ಲಿಂಕರ್ DNA ಏನಿದೆ ಇವೆರಡು ಅಟ್ಯಾಚ್ ಆಗೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಒಂದು ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯೋಸೋಮು ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯೋಸೋಮು ಜಾಯಿನ್ ಆಗ್ತವೆ. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಲಿಂಕರ್ DNA ಲೆಂತ್ ಮೇ ವೇರಿ ಫ್ರಮ್ one species to another species. So the linker DNA is the DNA which is present between the two adjacent nucleosomes. So that is attached with the H1 histone protein. Next, the nucleosome chain gives the, ನೋಡಿ ಇದೇ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯೋಸೋಮ್ಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ DNA ರ್ಯಾಪಿಂಗ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ. The nucleosome chains gives the beads on a string. ಒಂದು ದಾರಕ್ಕೆ ಮಣಿಗಳನ್ನ ಪೋಣಿಸಿದ್ರೆ ಹೇಗೆ ಕಾಣುತ್ತೆ ಆ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಆ ರೀತಿ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ನಮಗೆ. ಸಿ, ಸೊ ದ ಬೀಡ್ಸ್ ಆನ್ ಎ ಸ್ಟ್ರಿಂಗ್, ಒಂದಿಷ್ಟು ಮಣಿಗಳನ್ನು ದಾರಕ್ಕೆ ಪೋಣಿಸಿದ್ರೆ ಹೇಗೆ ಕಾಣುತ್ತೆ. ದ ಬೀಡ್ಸ್ ಆನ್ ಎ ಸ್ಟ್ರಿಂಗ್ ಅಪಿಯರೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡರ್ ದ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಮೈಕ್ರೋಸ್ಕೋಪ್ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸಿ ದಟ್ ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯೋಸೋಮ್ ಫರ್ದರ್ ಕಾಯಿಲ್ಸ್. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ, ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ನಮಗೆ DNA ರ್ಯಾಪಿಂಗ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗಿದೆ ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯೋಸೋಮ್ ಮೇಲೆ, ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಸ್ಟ್ರಿಂಗ್ ಅಪಿಯರೆನ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಆ ಸ್ಟ್ರಿಂಗ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಬೀಡೆಡ್ ಅಪಿಯರೆನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ ದ ಬೀಡೆಡ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಿಂಗ್, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅಗೈನ್ ಕಾಯಿಲಿಂಗ್ ಕಾಂಪ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ ಟು ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಎ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಸೊಲೆನಾಯ್ಡ್. ಸೊ ದ ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯೋಸೋಮ್ ಫರ್ದರ್ ಕಾಯಿಲ್ಸ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಬೀಡೆಡ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ಟು another structure called solenoid structure. So solenoid is an further coiled structure from the beaded string appearance. So it has a diameter of 30 nanometer. So it is having the diameter called 30 nanometer as found in the chromatin. This further, the beads and string structure in chromatin is packaged to form the chromatin. Means the solenoid will be again super coiled. That forms the 300 nanometer of their diameter, and they are again closely compacted to form a structure called the chromatin fibers, which are forming a chromatid which is having 700 nanometer of their diameter. And these chromatin fibers are further coiled and condensed at the metaphase of the cell division to form the chromosome, which is having the diameter called 1400 nanometer. So ನೋಡಿ ಎಲ್ಲಿತ್ತು 3.4 ನ್ಯಾನೋಮೀಟರ್ ಇಂದ 1004 ನ್ಯಾನೋಮೀಟರ್ ವರೆಗೂ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಲೇಷನ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು. ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಹೇಗೆ? ಬೈ ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ಲಿ ಪ್ಯಾಕಿಂಗ್ ದ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ಲಿ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ಡ್ ಬೇಸಿಕ್ ಪ್ರೋಟೀನ್ಸ್ with the help of these histone proteins, and the negatively charged DNA has been compactly transformed from DNA to the nucleosome and by wrapping them, and then it is forming the solenoid and super solenoid and chromatin fibers to condense by chromatid formation, ultimately at the metaphase stage of the cell division, we can see the chromosome. The packaging at higher level requires not only the histone protein but also requires some set of proteins which are acidic that are collectively called as non-histone proteins. Non-histone proteins or non-histone chromosomal proteins, that is called NHC proteins. Non-histone chromosomal proteins. Okay, so non-histone chromosomal proteins are of different types. So let's see. So non-histone chromosomal proteins are of three types. One is scaffold or structural non-histone chromosomal protein. Then second one is functional non-histone chromosomal protein. We can quote the example as the DNA polymerase or the RNA polymerase. So DNA polymerase and RNA polymerase are the non-histone chromosomal proteins, especially they are functional type of non-histone chromosomal proteins. Then another last type of the non-histone chromosomal protein is regulatory non-histone chromosomal protein, which is a very important protein because example is HMG. We can quote the example is HMG. What is this HMG means? H refers to high, M refers to mobility, G refers to group. So this is a high mobility group of protein, acts as an non-histone chromosomal protein. It is very important for the gene expression because it controls the expression of genes. So scaffold are a structural non-histone chromosomal protein, and then the functional non-histone chromosomal protein, example DNA polymerase and RNA polymerase ಅಂತ ನೋಡಿದ್ವಿ. ಅದರ ಆದಮೇಲೆ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ಗೆ ನಾವು ನೋಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ರೆಗ್ಯುಲೇಟರಿ non-histone chromosomal protein. ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಹೈ ಮೊಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಪ್ರೋಟೀನ್ ಆಫ್ ದ non-histone chromosomal protein ಅಂತ ನೋಡಿದ್ವಿ. ಇದು ಜೀನ್ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಸ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ರೆಗ್ಯುಲೇಟರಿ NHC ಪ್ರೋಟೀನ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಈ ಒಂದು ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯಸ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಟಿಪಿಕಲ್ ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯಸ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ, ಈಗ ನಾವು ಹೇಗೆ ಕ್ರೋಮೋಸೋಮ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ DNA ಪ್ಯಾಕಿಂಗ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ ನೋಡಿದ್ವಲ್ಲ, ಸೊ ಇಂಥ ಟಿಪಿಕಲ್ ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯಸ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ ದೆರ್ ಆರ್ ಸಮ್ ರೀಜನ್ ಆಫ್ ಕ್ರೊಮ್ಯಾಟಿನ್. ಈ ಕ್ರೊಮ್ಯಾಟಿನ್ ರೀಜನ್ಸ್ ಏನಾಗಿರ್ತವೆ ಅಂದರೆ ದೆರ್ ಆರ್ ಸಮ್ ರೀಜನ್ ಆಫ್ ಕ್ರೊಮ್ಯಾಟಿನ್ಸ್, ದೇ ಆರ್ ಲೂಸ್ಲಿ ಪ್ಯಾಕ್ಡ್. ಸೊ ಈ ಲೂಸ್ಲಿ ಪ್ಯಾಕ್ಡ್ DNA ಏನಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಕ್ರೋಮೋಸೋಮ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ರೊಮ್ಯಾಟಿನ್ಸು, ದೇ ಸ್ಟೈನ್ಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಲೆಸ್. The lightly staining loosely packed content is called euchromatin. So in a typical nucleus we can find this type. If this is compactly arranged, means very densely or tightly packed and stains for the dark, it is called heterochromatin. If the chromatin fibers are loosely arranged and andre very loosely coiled and lightly stains, it stains the light ಆಗಿ ಸ್ಟೈನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಲೂಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಅರೇಂಜ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, that is the euchromatin. If it is densely coiled or tightly coiled and gives the dark staining, then it is called heterochromatin. So this is about their structural arrangement, but or means their physical arrangement, but the coming to their metabolic functions, this euchromatin is very active in the transcription processes, whereas this is inactive or very less active. Heterochromatin is very less active or inactive in the process of transcription. Hence heterochromatin is regarded as transcriptionally inactive and euchromatin is regarded as transcriptionally active because it is loosely coiled and lightly stained. So this is how the DNA is packaged in the nucleus of the prokaryote and the eukaryotes. So usually in the prokaryotes we call the packaging in the cytoplasma, but in the higher organisms we can see the clear nucleus. Hence in eukaryotes we can see the nucleosome model of DNA packaging. Clear? So This is all about the DNA packaging in prokaryotes and eukaryotes. In the next coming videos, we will discuss the genetic material properties and how the genetic material has been discovered. So which are the experimental proofs we are having, we will discuss in the later part. Thank you.